Hey guys, my name is Gabe and this is episode 16 to Let's Make Rust. So in this episode, we're going to be doing some things like vignetting, field of view, some cool effects for our gun. So as you can see when we aim down our gun, we get some nice field of view effects and vignette effects, and we also have weapon swing now to give the gun a little bit more life, if you will. So before we actually start the video, I want to say if you're into some pretty cool Java stuff, you can actually go check out this channel, Crazy Rusky. He's got some cool devlogs for this game, Peasant's Tale. So if you're into that kind of stuff, you can go check it out. Just click the annotation on the screen now, or you can go check it out in the description. So yeah, stay tuned and enjoy. Alright, so to get started, we're going to work on our vignette effect. So we're going to go to our main camera right here, and we're going to look for vignette and chromatic aberration. So as you can see, we have a sort of vignette effect on our edges. So what's going to happen is when we're not aiming, it's going to be at 0, and when we're aiming, it's going to lerp to about 0.3, so somewhere here, and it'll give a nice effect. Okay, so let's go into our script here, and so in our script, we're going to have to reference, why is this not saved? Okay, we're going to have to reference our vignette effect. So we're going to do private vignette from, we have to get the package. So using Unity engine dot standard, what was it? Using here Unity standard assets dot image effects, and then we're going to get vignette chromatic abbreviation, and I'm just going to call this vignette. Okay, and then in start, we're going to go vignette, or vignette, however you want to say it, I don't really know how to pronounce it, is equal to get component, and we're going to have our vignette and chromatic aberrations. So find vignette script. Actually we're getting that on the camera, so it's FPS camera dot get component, right? Not actually off the player or the actual shooting system itself. Okay, so in update here, we have is aiming true here. We have fixed update. We could, yeah, we'll just put this in fixed update because it is a lerp function. So we'll do vignette.intensity is equal to mathf.lerp. So we're gonna do what it is now. So vignette intensity, which is, I don't know why it's vignette.intensity, but that's the vignetting slider. So we're now affecting this. So from what it is now to 0.3 times delta time. Okay, so we're gonna make a value here. So it's gonna be called vignette. What should we call it? Vignette aim intensity, and by default we'll make it 0.3 because that's that looks fine. So what it is now to our vignette intensity time.delta time, and I'm gonna make another value here, so public float and vignette speed multiplier, which is going to be equal to, I'd say 5 by default. So we're going to multiply time.delta time here by 5, or not by 5, sorry, by our vignette aim intensity. Okay, and now we're going to copy this line and go over to else if aiming is equal to false, and instead of that we're going to make it 0. Okay, so this should work. Let's go back into Unity and try it out. So hit play. Once it actually loads, okay, there we go. And we can go pick up a gun. When we zoom in, okay, it's working, it's just very, very slow. So we're going to want to bring up that speed. So down here in the Glock, we have vignette speed multiplier, maybe 15. I don't know why it has to be so high. That's a little weird. That's strange. Let's go. What is happening here? Maybe it's because it's in fixed update. I wonder what will happen if we bring this up to like 50. It's still just as slow. Where was it? Main camera. Maybe it is because it's in fixed update. That's strange. That shouldn't be happening. Okay. Times vignette aim into. Oh, I see what the problem is. It's vignette speed multiplier. Yeah. Okay. So it's very important that you do put in the correct values. I did not do. Okay. So back on our Glock, on our vignette speed multiplier. Put it back on 5, and I'll go to my gun again. And yeah, that's better. That's good. Alright. I also want to bring back the weapon on the Z-axis just a little bit. So maybe something like... See, it's 1.8 now. What if it's 1? Let's see. So we're going to go pick up our Glock. Yeah, it brings the gun closer. So I'm thinking 1.5 maybe. So it'll bring it closer, and I also want to zoom in our field of view. So we're going to do the same thing here with our field of view. So let's see. We're going to copy this. Okay. Now we're going to lerp our FPS camera to field of view from where it is now. So FPS camera dot field of view. I wonder. Oh, use camera dot field of view instead. Okay, let's try that. Field of view. I guess that's obsolete. And to, let's see here. Float normal field of view, which is going to be 60. And we're going to have aiming field of view, which is 90. I'm thinking later we can actually make a system so that the field of view is going to be changed in the settings. So like you can make it 60, 90, whatever you want. And it'll actually just subtract it. So aiming field, I think I did this reverse. Yeah, so 45. And so it'll just subtract it, and it'll just know what to do. So for instance, we're subtracting here by 15. So we would just make a float field of view subtract 15. So if it were to be 90, it would then be 75. So it's a little bit more flexible. So it's not so much hard-coded, which is what we are going to do in the future. I'm also going to make a float here called field of view speed, which can also be 5. This doesn't have to be in a separate line. That's fine. And we're just going to kind of modify this so to 90. No, not 90. Field of view aiming. So aiming field of view times our field of view speed. Okay. So now I'm just going to copy this, and we're going to replace this by our normal field of view. Actually, I'm thinking we can do this now. We can kind of make it flexible. So I'm going to make public float field of view change, which is going to be 15. And I could actually remove these. And right here, it's going to be our FPS camera's field of view minus 15. Or not minus 15, minus field of view change. And we could do the same thing here, except now we're going to have to bring it to what it regularly was. Okay, so now we're going to have to go and make a private float. So back up here, we're going to make a private float called regular field of view. And in start, regular field of view is equal to FPS camera dot field of view. So get default field of view. And now we can change this to regular field of view. Rather, I don't know, default field of view. So what I just did there is I selected field of view speed. I don't know if I explained this before, but FOV speed, when I highlight this, it highlights everything else that is field of view speed. And when you hold Control and double hit R, you can type something else and it'll just replace it. So that's pretty convenient and a very nice feature of Visual Studio. Okay, let's go in and see if this works. Hopefully it does. So here we go, field of view changes 15. And we're gonna hit play. Oh my god. Yeah, that doesn't really work so well, obviously. What is happening? So we're going from... Oh, okay, I think I see what's happening because it's constantly changing and it's getting confused. So we're gonna have to make a value for it. So private float aim field of view, and I'll bring this up here. And in here we're gonna do aim field of view is equal to FPS camera dot field of view minus the change. So get aim field of view. So now instead of actually doing it here because that will cause problems, we're going to now make it aim field of view. So that should fix things. So if we hit play and go grab our gun. Yeah, okay, so that does work. Good. I'm thinking 15 is enough. I want to try 20 though, because I think that's a more appropriate number. Just a little bit more zoom. Yeah, okay, so that's fine. I think that'll work. I did mute the audio, so I don't think you'll be able to hear it. I could unmute it though. Okay. There we go. I also want to fix this thing that when we're paused, you could still shoot, which is kind of annoying. So we're gonna fix that now, really quick. We're gonna, in our shooting system, we're gonna get our pause manager. So over here, oh, what did I do? Okay, so here I'm going to get the pause manager script. So pause manager. Okay, and pause manager is equal to game object dot find game object with tag pause manager dot get component pause manager. Okay, cool. And I think we did give it a tag. I do want to check though. Yes, we did, pause manager. Okay, so that's all good. And over here, if input dot get mouse 0, I also want to do and if, or not, we don't have to do if twice. And pause manager dot is paused is false. If we left click and not paused. So that should work. So once we go back into our game, once we pick up a gun and pause, should no longer be able to shoot, which is kind of nice because that did get pretty annoying. Alright, so to finish things off in this episode, we're going to implement some weapon sway, so that'll be pretty cool. Down here, we're going to put in some variables, so we're going to do public float x sway amount is equal to 0.1. And we're going to do y sway amount, which is also going to be 0.1 because we want it to be the same. And we're also going to do max x, or actually we'll do x sway max is equal to, I don't know, 0.3. And we're going to do y sway max, which is equal to 0.3 as well. I do think that putting a max actually makes it a little buggy, kind of. So we might actually want to make this infinite. We'll see though. So I'm also going to create a private vector 3 called new sway position. New sway position. Okay, cool. So now we're going to go into our update method right here. And here is where we're going to be doing all of our weapon sway. So we are now, let's see here. I do have a reference open. So here we go. Actually, no. We'll want to do this in fixed update. So I'm gonna cut this out. Do we have a fixed update method? Yes, we do. Okay, so this is gonna be our weapon sway. We just worked on fixed update, and I just asked if we had one. Okay, I'm retarded. I'm gonna make a float. Let's see, x, I guess, is equal to input dot get axis mouse x times the x sway amount. And we're going to do the same thing for y. So input dot get axis, so mouse y times the y sway amount. Okay, so this is where it's going to get a little complicated. So we're going to do if x is less, or sorry, if x is greater than our max. So let's see, if x is greater than our x maximum sway, then x is going to equal to the x sway max. So it's kind of like locking. Maybe we shouldn't put these because there's going to be a lot of checks here, kind of. There's going to be about 4. We're also going to do if x is less than the negative x sway max, then we will do x is equal to the max sway again. And we're going to do the same thing but for y. So if y sway max, y is equal to y sway max less than the negative sway max. Alright, so I'm putting negative here. Okay, and now we're going to make another vector 3. So this is going to be called detection, which is going to be equal to a new vector 3, which is going to be our new sway position, x plus x, and then our new sway position y plus y, and same thing with z, new sway position at c, but we're just going to leave it because obviously we don't want to weapon sway on the z-axis. Okay, and now we're going to do transform dot local position is equal to vector 3 dot lerp. So now we're going to lerp from our local position right now to detection by our time dot delta time multiplied by our sway smooth amount, which we don't have yet because I forgot to add that. So up here we're going to add sway smooth amount. Okay, so this could be 3. Okay, that's fine. So now if we go back into Unity, let's see if that all works. So I'm going to hit play here and go to our Glock. And as you can see, it does sway, but it does have that problem that I was talking about earlier. So we're going to go to our max, and we're going to make this infinite for both of these. Okay, let's go pick up our Glock again. Yeah, okay, now we have some problems. This way, I mean, it's fine right now. We can leave it the way it is for now. But our weapon object seems to have some problems because of the y-axis. So now we're not aiming correctly, so we're going to have to change our aiming position. Let's try this. Okay, we have to actually go the other way. That is too far. Okay, so play around with this until you got something, until you got like the right value. So I'm thinking 4, No. 0.48. Alright, so I got the value negative 0.27, but it's going to vary for you, so just play around with it until you kind of got it correct. And yeah, so your weapon system should look something like this now. So yeah, I think that's going to be pretty much it for this episode. We got weapon sway, some cool vignette effects, field of view. Next episode we're going to be working on the ammo system, muzzle flash, and maybe some animations. So yeah, stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe, like, and leave a comment if you have any questions, and I'll be sure to answer them. So yeah, have a good one.